So in my third attempt to film this, how hard can it be? 1825. It was an important year in the UK. The Stockton-Darlington Railway opened, the world's first steam-powered railway. The Cox's orange pip and apple was first grown, and the Royal Institution lectures were first held. And here, in the small village of Wycombe in mid-Suffolk, possibly the last swimming of a witch happened, 89 years after the Witchcraft Act had been repealed, although it did stay on the statutes in the UK until 1951 because, well, paperwork, essentially. It happened here, in the pond behind me, known locally as the Grimmer. Anyway, back to 1825, with their new fancy apples, their steam-powered railways, and their possible witches. Isaac Stebbings. He was a 67-year-old door-to-door salesman who lived in the village of Wycombe. He was accused by a thatcher's wife and a farmer of making them mad, a local shoemaker of making his wax impossible to work with. Stebbings was obviously annoyed by this, so he wanted to prove his innocence. And even in 19th century Britain, that meant a witch swimming. Yeah. Although there was a small flaw of his plan. Officially, trial by water hadn't been a method of finding out if someone was a witch for 600 years. During the rule of Henry III. That's how far back we are going. Seems the news haven't travelled quite this far. Imagine how far Norfolk were behind. That's probably still happening up there. The villagers crowded round the Grimmer. There is ample space for a good size mob to hang around and watch something. Stebbings was led into the water with 4 other men. When the water reached chest high, Stebbings was lifted onto his back to see if he floated or not. And he did, because humans do float, broadly speaking. Brainiac did an experiment about this 20 odd years ago. The RNLI, the Royal National Lifeboat Institution, suggest if you fall in the water, just try to float. Don't thrash around too much. Links to those videos below. I will apologise, the Brainiac one is a bit low quality. It doesn't seem to be on their own official channel. Did the average 19th century villager know that humans, broadly speaking, float? No, probably not. Did Mr. Stebbings? No. Which is why he demanded a retrial after floating for a good 10 minutes. Yeah. Another man, whose name has been lost to history, offered to be swum alongside Mr. Stebbings. The crowd were getting ready for this. Then the local clergyman dispersed the crowd just to try and move things on. The villagers were supposedly so annoyed by being dispersed by the clergyman that they rallied together, raised £3, which is this much in today's money, to pay a local cunning man who is somehow different to a witch, God knows how that works, £3 to ensure Mr. Stebbings had a long and painful death. Long? Possibly. He lived another 22 years, so the villagers got their money's worth. Painful? That's been lost to history. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. That was the story of Isaac Stebbings and possibly the last witch swimming in the UK. Take care.